Hey, thanks for accidentally clicking on Tablenauts. My name is Doolin, and today I'd like to take a look at 6 fairly new games. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. And I'd like to rank them for you guys from worst to best. But before we do so, I do just want to point out my cool new shirt, which is actually from Lord of the Board. Sam over there has some new fall spooky merch. And I love this shirt because of a couple of reasons. It's got cool art. I like to support Sam, but it's also comfort colors, which is like my favorite brand of shirt ever. Like they actually fit well, they actually feel nice, and they actually last. So I don't know. I mean, take that for what you will. I'm not sponsored by Comfort Colors, but for now, if you'd like to take a look at some cool new spooky shirts that are board game themed and support a cool channel, go check out Sam's channel at Lord of the Board. So I said 6 games. That is wrong. It's actually 7 games. So you guys probably saw that on the thumbnail and was like, what the heck? I'm losing. No, there's going to be 7 total. So the number 7 is really, really intriguing. I bought this game because of what it promised to do. And while I can't say that it didn't accomplish what it promised, it ended up being kind of a letdown. And number 7 out of 7 for me is Great Western Trail El Paso by Lookout Games. Now, this game is not horrible by any means. I actually like some of the ways like they took to make Great Western Trail into a much smaller, like small box game. I love the cloth board. I love like some of the simplicity of actions. I actually really like the way that they've chosen to use workers where you hire them on and then they become cards in your hand, and when you draw them you play them down and you can use them, a certain number of them, to do certain actions. So in that case, you're not able to just buy 4 or 5 farmers and every time you go to the cow spot buy a 5 cow. Instead, you have to plan out based on what workers you're drawing back into your hand to use. That being said, after playing this solo quite a few times, for one, the solo mode is nuts hard. Like, it is incredibly, and I think it's actually not like fun hard, it's just like impossibly difficult based off of the way that the solo mode rules are as they stand. And I think part of that is actually like there's some rules clarifications that I'd love to have that just are not there in the rule book, and so I play it like as hard as it possibly says, like by the way that I read it. I think that if I could get some rules clarifications, maybe that would change, but I think as is, the solo mode is not well balanced. On top of that, base Great Western Trail, to me, is way more fun to play. I think it's more challenging. I think it's more strategic. I think I'd much rather play it with a group of people rather than this, even though this would be a lot quicker. That all being said, it's still for me a 3 out of 5. It's not horrible. Like it does what it wants to be. It wants to be a lighter, quicker version of Great Western Trail. I just don't think that for me that matters. Like I would much rather take a little bit extra time to play a much better game. Next up is a game that actually has caused a lot of laughs. It's not that expensive to buy. However, I have some issues with the game being a little too samey to other card games that I really like, and that is Soda Jerk by All Play Games. Now, this is designed by Chris Yee over at the Dice Tower, and I love his recommendations, his board game recommendations typically, and I still do. Like, I still really trust it, and I like this game. I think that at its core, it's a pretty fun little card game. I just think it's a lot like quite a few other card games that I've played. Max, Kenny, and I have played quite a few times, and I think it's funny. A lot of like gotcha moments, and also a little bit of strategy thrown in there as well. For me, it's a 3.5 out of 5. Fine game, and especially for the price. Like, you can't beat that, but it gets the 6th spot out of those 7 games that we're looking at today, leading up to another pretty lightweight card game that I actually find I found first on BGA, and then when I found it available at Origins with Kyle this year, I bought it immediately, and that is Nana Toridori by kids table board games. And this, not to be confused with Nana, which has like not the same designer or anything like that. Nana Toridori is a simple card shedding game where it's kind of like Scout, where you cannot move your hand around. You have to play cards strategically. However, on your turn, you can only play a number that's higher than the number that's out there, or a string of the same number to overplay whatever is out there. So 2 1s become an 11, they beat a 7 out there. 22, 2 2s would be better than the 11s. Then 3 1s, which would be 111, would become better than 22, and so on and so forth. And you keep discarding or playing your cards until there's only one player left, and that player takes a little penguin token. The first player to get 2 penguin tokens loses the game. Everybody else wins. That's pretty fun. I think that's actually a really silly way to do it, and it's really light, so I don't think that like feels bad. Like if you lose this game, it's like whatever. And I think one of my favorite things about this game, the strategy behind it, is that you don't have to play. If you have something that will beat the cards out there, you can choose not to. And there's a couple of reasons you might want to. Whenever you choose not to, you draw a card and you can put that card anywhere in your deck. On top of that, if you beat what is out there, you have the opportunity to take whatever is out there as well and put it anywhere in your deck. So if you beat a 7 with 2 1s, you can take that 7 and place it anywhere in your deck, or you can pass it. And so the game ramps up quite a bit, because at first everybody's just kind of playing 1 or 2 cards down, and then at the end people are playing their whole hands to go out because they've strategically played and lost all of their cards. But for me, this is a 3.5 out of 5. Nothing like too incredibly groundbreaking in this little card game. I also have a big problem with the box being this large when it's just like a deck of cards. However, very fun game. I enjoy it a lot. Next up, we have an 8 out of 10 game, a 4 out of 5. Sorry, I need to go stay the same. 4 out of 5 card game by Weird City Games, and this is Canopy Evergreen, and this is a game by Tim Eisner with Vincent Dutrait art, so you know it's going to look beautiful, and it is. It's a very fun nature game, set collection drafting game, where every player is going to create their own natural park. And you're going to put animals in it that are going to score you points. You're going to put plants in it, which are going to score you points. You're going to have weather cards that are going to get you points. There's things that are going to go against you, like fires or storms or like stuff like that, that will cause you to lose some points. However, I just think this game, while at its core is just a drafting set collection game, is a bit deeper than it sounds when you're listening to it or when you're reading the rules. As you play, you're going to have quite a few options, and as the rounds go on, you get as you expand your park, you're just going to have a lot more scoring options than normal. I'm really bad at this game. Kenny won when we played all together, and Kenny even said, he's like, this has a lot more depth than I expected it to. And so Canopy Evergreen was a surprising little hit for our group. It is a 4 out of 5 for me, so it's a great category there, just on the edge of being amazing. But Canopy Evergreen, from what I've heard, I've never played the base Canopy. The added like map board and being able to expand that way is a welcome addition, at least to me. I wouldn't want to play the game without it. So Canopy Evergreen is, I think, the way to go based off of what I've heard about what the base game has to offer. So Canopy Evergreen was number 4. We're in our top tier games out of 7 here. Number 3 is a game by Chip Theory Games that was a huge surprise to me, because I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I was just like, I don't know about this game, and that is Neon Rain. Now this, I've talked about a little bit on the channel before when we did our giveaway, back when I talked about video game board games, and this game is in the style of those old beat 'em up 2-player arcade games. I would put it up there, not like, I think Tag Team is better. Like, it is absolutely the game of the con for Gen Con for me, I think. However, Neon Rain surprisingly good as well. You're gonna have a hand of cards that only replenishes when you take a rest turn, so you want to try to, like, there's some incentive to get rid of your hand. However, holding on to cards to try to pull off future combos is really important too, and the way you do that is by playing a certain combination of cards that have A, B, or X on them with up, down, left, right directions. And when you do that, you accomplish universal combos. You also get stars from using those things. The stars contribute to you building up your special, like, character power. On top of that, there are counter cards, there are throws, there are combo breakers, like all of these cards that you can play on your opponent when they're, like, building up for a big turn to stop them from killing you. And it's just like this very, like, throw punches until somebody's down type of style of game, and I like it. The solo mode is actually really fun, which is why it gets a 4 out of 5 from me. It's just one of those, like I've played it a few times, and when I finally got that, like, win, that knockdown win, right after, like, blocking a hit right before that would have killed me, so fun, like, so satisfying, and you're like, yes, and then you can run it back because the game only takes like 5 to 10 minutes once you really know how to play. Number two is a game that I have been looking forward to for a long while, because the base game I love. I'm just really bad at drawing, and I preferred playing it online, and this is sort of a tile layer version of it, and that is Railroad Tiles by Horrible Guild Games. And Railroad Tiles, it's a lot like Railroad Inc. However, there are some welcome new stuff in terms of, like, how you're drafting instead of rolling some dice, and it's very random. And so when one player chooses one thing, you can no longer take that. However, the further left you go, you're going to get to take before them in future turns. It's just very, very, very fun for me as a person who's a fan of, like, tile layer puzzle games and a fan of Railroad Inc. All the tiles are beautiful. Like, it's stunning to look at, and it's really, really fun. I will say though, base game, I would only give a 7 out of 10. I think it's good, but it's just like, I'd much rather play Railroad Inc., I think. That being said, with the added expansions, which I have both of, I have the Canals expansion, which I love, like, this is my favorite of the two, but the Energy expansion is really, really good too. These add enough, like, extra stuff, and on top of that, there's going to be, there is in the box objective tokens or tiles that you can play with that, if you accomplish their goals, like, think Dorf Romantic almost, where, like, if you build around this a certain number of spaces, the canal, or build out the railroad a certain shape around this thing, then it scores as well. There's a lot of extra, like, crunchy goodness, like, puzzly goodness that gets added to this game through its expansions, that for me, Railroad Tiles becomes a 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5 game. I gotta stop. It's confusing because we do movies on our podcast, and Letterboxd is a 5 out of 5, like, 5-star, like, review guide, whereas BGG is out of 10, and so I'm like, which do I do? I think I'd rather do 5. I just accidentally sometimes revert back to BGG. And then the last one, number 1. This game, guys, I can't stop thinking about ever since I first played it, and this is not even my copy, it's Patrick's copy, but I'm so glad he taught us how to play, because this is a game that I enjoyed playing the first time with them, and then he let me borrow it to play solo, and I've loved it solo. Thank you, Patrick, love you. And that is Wondrous Creatures. Now, this game is incredibly heavy, so I'm going to set it back down. This game reminds me, not just because it has really cute creatures in it, but it reminds me of Everdell. It reminds me of the time I first played Everdell, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I love, like, all the combo-y nature of this, and how, like, at the start of the game, we look so, like, everybody starts really, really similar, but because of all of these, like, buildings and creatures that you're building out, like, we all, like, are doing crazy, big, important, swingy things. However, in this game, what I absolutely love about this is that there is no, like, end season thing like in Everdell. It's just, imagine like if Everdell only ended once all of the objectives were taken. And in this game, that pretty much is the way that this game works, is that as the game keeps flowing and going, you're going to slowly but surely reach the end of the game through all of the important like things getting taken up, and all of the important spaces getting taken up, and all of the important objectives getting taken up. And the more that happens, the quicker the game ends. And so if everybody's playing poorly, then the game will, go a little bit slower. And that allows for you to feel like by the end of the game, you're getting really close to accomplishing everything you want to do. However, you almost never feel like you got everything done. And that's really exciting, because it's like, maybe next time I'll get all of it. But in this game, you're still doing something similar as in Everdell, where you're going to have all of these like creatures that all like sort of combo off of each other. They're going to have like different types, like, and different, associated, like, I don't know, like elements, I guess, and those elements will cause other things to happen based off, like maybe your objective will be to have one of every single element, or maybe it's to get 4 blue cards or 4 black cards, and all of these different things, and you'll be working towards that while everyone else is also working towards it. And so you're trying to beat certain players, you're watching them get some of the things that you really, really want. On top of that, the way that you get resources isn't just by going to a spot and saying, I'm going to get 2 sticks here. It's you take creatures that you have and you place them on this board as sort of like gatherers, these workers that you have. And the gatherers will get to pull all of the adjacent resources that are around them to your board, and all of a sudden you're going to get all of those to be able to use to buy cards. The cards give you creatures, the creatures give you extra abilities or points or things, and it's just like combo heavy. I'm blown away by this game. So fun, so gorgeous to look at. This is easily a 5 out of 5. It's up there for potentially game of the year for me, if there wasn't already, a couple of other games that are amazing. But it could. I mean, with repeat plays, who knows? I need to track down my own copy, because I regretfully have to give this back to Patrick because I've been borrowing it for a little too long, and I don't want to stop playing it. So I'm gonna track down my own copy. But Wondrous Creatures by Bad Comet Inc., which I don't think I've ever played any game by them before. So I don't even think I've ever heard of them. So well done to this company, and great job. Great games all around for the most part, with the exception of, I think El Paso is the one that I probably wouldn't recommend to most people. But if you like any of these games, let me know down in the comments what you thought about the way that I rated them and the way that I ranked them. On top of that, if you have any games that you have played recently that are from this year, let me know. Maybe I can check them out soon. And I thank you so much once again for watching, and I'll see you next time.